What up, guys? It's Fake Sorg here for the Raw wrap-up. Raw just got off the air, and it is Halloween Eve. And, guys, I'm not sure if you can tell. This is Mad Mike. Hi. I was testing out my other Halloween costume as Fake Sorg. We're here to talk Raw, because Sorg is a little sick, a little under the weather. But I'm here. I'm here to talk about Raw. And boy, oh boy, what an interesting Raw it was. You know what? Let's get the positives. So Stephanie McMahon came back tonight, you guys. Yes, Stephanie McMahon came back tonight, and man, Steph was in angry mom mode, and I loved it. She told off Kurt for not preventing something he couldn't possibly have known was happening. What what'd you think about that, Mad Mike? Fake Sorg. We need to get the McMahons off TV. The McMahons need to go away. They're not helping the product at all. Not anymore. They have not been helping the product for some time. And did Stephanie really say that Shane abused her as a kid? That's not good. That's not good at all. Steph coming back, sure. I guess we have to do that for Survivor Series, but her making Kurt part of the Survivor Series team, we knew this was going to happen last week. I'm still not a fan of it. I'm sure other people probably are because they want to see Kurt Angle wrestle. Me, I got enough of that in TNA. And what I will say, though, Drew Gulak, I'm switching topics because I don't want to talk about Survivor Series anymore, because clearly Raw doesn't want to talk about Survivor Series anymore because we don't know anyone on the Raw team besides Kurt Angle. There's nothing going on with regards to Survivor Series on Raw. But I want to talk about Drew Gulak because Drew Gulak is amazing. Drew Gulak was easily, far and away, the best part of Raw tonight, and he had a match that lasted 35 seconds. That's kind of sad, first and foremost. But, we got some people in the chat room. Brandon in the chat room saying Braun going to be a new IC champion. Yeah, sure kind of looks like that. I mean, hell, it's better than Jason Jordan. We'll say that. And Braun Strowman versus Baron Corbin could be a lot of fun. Hi, Dave. Hi, Tina. Yeah, the last few minutes were pure cheesy horror movie type. All right, let's get to the last few minutes, because we had basically Where to, Stephanie? Part 2, but with Braun and Miz. Now, I said I wanted some horror movie type stuff last week on the Wrestling Mayhem show. I should have clarified I wanted it done well. Because Braun coming out of the trash, the dumpster, whatever it was, the trash compactor, was great. But see, here's the thing about that. If Braun left the bag of garbage in Miz's locker room, then he would have had to get back into the trash compactor and bury himself under trash again just for the reveal. I mean, sure, it's fine. We're going to get Braun versus Miz. Okay, sure. How that plays into Survivor Series, which is what we're supposed to be building to, who the fuck knows? I sure don't. How about you, Fake Sorg? What'd you think of the final segment tonight? Oh, Mad Mike, I don't know what you are talking about. This is what you asked for, and you got it. You wanted cheesy horror movie stuff. You got Braun Strowman emerging similarly to the Shredder in the back of a garbage truck. Ah! You got that, Mad Mike. You got Daniel Bryan being haunted by his former tag team partner Kane in a darkened room. I don't know what more you want from WWE. They're giving you what you want, Mad Mike. I don't know why this is troubling for you. Sorg, the Daniel Bryan thing. Okay, let's go to that. The Daniel Bryan thing. I thought it was kind of cool that he showed up and said that he did not support what happened on SmackDown last week. I would have preferred this stuff happening on SmackDown because I would have preferred like people to leave Daniel Bryan alone because now Raw has officially struck back, but Kane wasn't a part of the original attack. I don't like if Kane was taken out in the attack last week, sure. Okay, fine. But again, it goes back to the brand loyalty thing, and Kane should not be fighting for brand loyalty. Like he should not be doing things on behalf of Raw. I don't really get that part of it. But yeah, we got the chat room on fire right now. Brandon saying Bryan could be on the team after the Kane chokeslam. I highly doubt that, considering they didn't even show a chokeslam. There's a reason those lights were off in that room. Daniel Bryan did not get chokeslammed. Don't get it twisted. Daniel Bryan, I'm sure, is not cleared. Daniel Bryan will not be wrestling. It would be an amazing twist, but that's not happening. Shane's going to be on that team, if anything, and this is probably just a way to get Daniel Bryan off of TV until after Survivor Series. That's my bet. That way we can just have Shane and Kurt be the focus, and Daniel Bryan isn't there like being the wet blanket, waiting for the Great Pumpkin or whatever. Let's you guys, we had some returns tonight. We had some returns. Does anyone remember that Samoa Joe even came back? Does anybody remember this? I thought Samoa Joe was going to be announced as the mystery opponent for The Miz, because that'd be great. Like, and then we could get like Samoa Joe beating The Miz, which, I mean, sure. And then we could have gotten a rematch of Samoa Joe versus Baron Corbin, which was an awesome match in NXT. But yeah, because I mean, I don't know about you guys in the chat room. I don't think Miz is losing that belt before Survivor Series. I don't think we're changing up any of those matchups. I would like to change up some of those matchups. Like, I would like to see the Bar. I would like to see the Bar win the tag titles so we can have the Shield reunion in the 5-man match, the 10-man tag. But yeah, I don't know. Tonight's Raw was really weird tonight. Yeah, Dave Bodner saying in the chat room that we need a padding between the returns of Nia and Joe. And don't forget Stephanie and Bo. They all returned in the first hour of Raw. And this was a night of weird transitions. I don't know what's going on with Raw, but there are a lot of weird transitions. Like, people not like Kane came out during the end of Balor's match. Joe came out while Nia and Bayley were still around ringside. Like, Nia, Alicia Fox, and Bayley were still around ringside. And Brandon, the women got 3 segments, so that was awesome. I mean, yeah, the women got 3 segments. Sure, I'll go with that, but I don't see what, like, this Raw. Not a lot happened on it. It's just going to be a real time fit. Like, we don't. This is the problem with announcing so many matches for Survivor Series in just like a one-off build. Like, we announced Jinder versus Brock. We announced the tag team champions going after each other, IC versus US title, and the women's champions going after each other. But you can't build to those feuds. Like, you can't. It would have been, and this is just me thinking, it would have been cooler if the champions themselves decided they wanted to go after each. Like, that's why Jinder Mahal did it properly. Jinder Mahal was the one who challenged Brock Lesnar. That's great. That's really cool. I mean, he's going to get killed, But but that is really cool. That's awesome for Jinder, because that's Jinder saying my brand is better. I'm the better champion. Anything that we get through the tag teams, through the ICUS title, and through the women's champions now just seems like, oh, we were booked in this match, so we have to talk angrily at each other. Like, how cool would it have Dave Potter saying in the chat room, if only they had a pay-per-view that could be for a champion versus champion match, maybe a Clash of Champions or something. That is an amazing point, sir. And Clash of Champions is the last pay-per-view of the year from what we've been able to see so far. But yeah, that makes a shit ton more sense. And you're exactly right, Dave. Survivor Series should be all about teams. Should be all about teams. You can still have Raw versus SmackDown, but it should be all about teams. Tina saying this is going to be difficult to build. They're touring in Europe for the next few weeks. And the next stop in the United States is the Go Home SmackDown Raw for Survivor Series. Oh, great. So this is going to be just a huge shit show. And of course, nothing ever happens badly on the European tour. Stay safe, Seth Rollins. Stay safe. Speaking of Seth Rollins, Seth Rollins fought Kane tonight. Yay. Fake Sorg, what do you think about what the Shield was doing tonight? Mad Mike, I don't know what you are talking about. Kane is back and he is kicking ass again, and this is great. I mean, it's the night before Halloween. You have to have a demon come in and wreck some ass. You really do. Like that's just kind of how this thing has to go. That Kane has to be the dominant monster again. But I don't know why you don't like this, man, Mike. Sorg, here's my problem with Kane. Last week Kane beat Finn cleanly, and this week it took like all the interference in the world for Kane to lose. I just don't. Kane is not a viable threat in 2017. He isn't. Like we have a bigger, better Kane in Braun Strowman. Like, and why isn't Kane beefing with, like, Kane clearly saw that Braun Strowman was going to attack The Miz. Why didn't he show up? I don't know. David's asking me if I can come on tomorrow night as Fake Sorg, and I don't know if I'll be on tomorrow night, but if I am on tomorrow night, I will have a different costume because I am professional. But yeah, I don't know. Like Kane just doesn't do it for me anymore, especially because he came back so quickly and is already super dominant again. Like, is this? Are they gonna put him on the Survivor Series team? Because he's been destroying everyone on the roster, like anyone who could possibly be his teammates. I don't know. This is a weird Survivor Series. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I'm much more excited for the NXT TakeOver pay-per-view, which we haven't figured out what the theme of that is, but it's War Games. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I think I'm catching a bit of the Fake Sorg cough. But there is one thing that I have to mention. I think Fake Sorg will agree with me. One of the funniest things of the night, we had a trick or street fight tonight. Fake Sorg, what'd you think about that? Oh, Mad Mike, we got Southpaw Regional Wrestling, Chex Ferguson, Chad Too Bad. They have reunited after their Lethal Leap Year feud, and they were teaming against Heath Slater and Rhino. It was a fun match, Mike. You can't really argue to me that it wasn't a good time. This is what the Halloween show is for. Putting pumpkins on heads, smashing pumpkins, not the Billy Corgan type, but this is what the Halloween show is for, Mike. You couldn't have possibly had a problem with this. Sorg, for the most part, you're right. I thought, that was a nice change of pace. It was definitely something interesting to see, but it probably would have made more of an impact for me if Heath Slater and Rhino have been on Raw in the past 3 months. Yeah, Brandon, Asuka has a squash match. I know. I don't even remember that, honestly, because hashtag we miss Emma. Hashtag we miss Emma. It's true. Um, but yeah, what was I talking? The trick or street fight. Why? Like the whole thing was just a rhinos wearing panties joke. That was the whole joke. And why would you do Santa and Mrs. Claus the night before Halloween? There are other costumes to do to make that same joke. Like, I, I personally would have had Heath Slater and Rhino dress up as like 11 and the Demogorgon. Like, I don't know. Like, there's another couple's costume you could do for Heath Slater and Rhino. Or you could have Heath Slater be Pelvis Wesley and have Rhino be Lisa Marie. Like, just something, or at least get two guys who were in Southpaw and have them be the opponents. I mean, I don't know. You know, it was fun for what it was. I'm sure we'll get something similar tomorrow night on SmackDown. But there's one last thing I did want to talk about. The Miz and Matt Hardy. I was surprised that the Miz's opponent was Matt Hardy. I was afraid that it was going to be Dave Podner, you're exactly right. Rhino was one of the butchers in Southpaw. Why didn't we have Kane versus Dean tonight? And we could have had Chad Too Bad and Tex Ferguson versus the Butchers. Like, that would have been really fun. We could have had an actual Southpaw Regional Wrestling tag team matchup. That would have been great. But alas, we're not the bookers. We're not smart enough for that because they know what we want. But yeah, Matt Hardy. I would have liked to see a title change because honestly, what are we doing with Matt Hardy if we're going to do anything with him? I hope this doesn't lead to like a Braun and Matt feud down the line because that would just be, I don't know. Oh, don't JD Jones in the chat room. Do not even get me started on the commentary team tonight because this podcast will never end. Booker T needs to leave the commentary desk immediately because he is awful, worse and worse every week. And I really feel bad for friend of the show Corey Graves. I really feel bad. It seems like Corey is having almost as much struggle watching Raw as I did. All right. Well, I think we hit on all the main points. Oh, Elias does need a new guitar. That's right. Elias missed an opportunity to do like a Monster Mash ripoff song. I feel like that's a missed opportunity, or like a Ghostbusters one or Thriller. Like I'd love to see Elias play Thriller on the acoustic. But yeah, Jason Jordan, he's dead in the water. He's dead in the water. It's over, guys. Jason Jordan. It was a nice run there you had, kid. He's dead for a while. It's not going to be good times for him. But so Fake Sorg. Let me ask you. I think I know the answer to this. How much of Raw was watchable for you tonight? Oh man, Mad Mike. Well, you know me. I love a good Halloween episode, and despite feeling under the weather, I'm going to give Raw tonight a solid 2.5 hours. I'm gonna give it a solid 2.5. Solid 2.5. The Stephanie thing. I can see your point on that, but yeah, I think a solid 2.5. And some of the matches went a little long. Plus, the Asuka squash didn't need to be there, in my opinion. How about you, Mad Mike? Oh, Sorg. I think I'm going to go an hour 15. Yeah, an hour 15. I think that's probably as high as I'll go for this one. Brandon in the chat room says an hour 45. So he and I are along similar wavelengths with that. It wasn't a bad show. It was just a lot of fluff and filler. Like all the Miz stuff is gold. Miz can take anything he's given and make it work. That's like most of the stuff that I liked tonight had to do with the Miz. But yeah. So I believe that is it for the Raw wrap-up. Join us tomorrow night for our Halloween special, live.wrestlingmayhemshow.com. Go to our Facebook group. We'll be streaming it live on Facebook. And I might be there. I'm not sure yet. Might not be there. But Sorg will definitely be there. Sorg will be in attendance, and all the merry band of Mayhemers. So please go to @Mayhem Show. Check out our tweets. Tell us what you think of Raw if you're not in the chat room live with us. And also, I'm at MadMike4883 on the Twitter machine. Also, apparently, you can email madmikeisadick at WrestlingMayhemShow.com if you want to tell me that I'm horrible at talking about Raw. Also, try emailing Fake Sorg at WrestlingMayhemShow.com because that guy is super positive about everything. It's really great. All right, so for Fake Sorg, I'm Mad Mike, and this has been your Raw wrap-up. Keep it